few years ago, we saw a black and red Jordan 12 teased as part of the 40th year anniversary of Air Jordans, but ultimately that release was delayed. We also saw pro wrestler Roman Reigns wear it on feet, and finally, after a few years of rumors, this colorway is dropping. Air Jordan 12 Bloodline. And the shoe is dropping on May 23rd for $215. Just kind of a bonkers price for a non-OG, non-special Jordan 12. Yeah, a little ridiculous, but it is $215. It is a black and red Jordan 12. Of course, we have seen the Jordan 1 Bloodline as well, and first impressions of this shoe. It is nice. Definitely nice. I am not like a huge Jordan 12 guy. Has to be a very special and really nice colorway for me to get excited about a Jordan 12. And these, it's hard not to compare to the flu games. I know it's not exactly the same color blocking or anything, but black and red Jordan 12, I'd rather go with the OG colorway, the one that Michael Jordan wore on foot. But regardless, I am a black sneaker lover, and this just looks like a very sleek Jordan 12. It is still a very nice colorway. I wouldn't say it is delicious. Real quick before I get started, studies have shown if you watch my video and do not subscribe, you are 10% more likely to lose your hair before the age of 30. Did I just make that up? I did, but am I still asking you to subscribe if you have watched any of my past videos? Yes. So if you want to keep a fresh full head of hair, hit that subscribe button. And in terms of the box, it is the Michael Jordan face box. They have been bringing that box that came in the early 2000s back in 2026. So you'll see this utilized quite a lot this year. And the materials on the shoe, it is just leather, and the leather here doesn't feel too premium or anything. You can feel a lot of the texture, you can see a lot of the texture, but that doesn't really indicate if it's great leather or not. It actually feels pretty thin. So I don't think they came with the best, even though you are paying over $200. Now on the mudguard area, you will see that faux lizard skin. That is one of the more distinct things about the Jordan 12, with that Jumpman tab and this reflective red, dark red color. That looks pretty nice. You also get one on the medial side of the shoe. And another place where it has that same aesthetic are the top 4 eyelets. You get these middle-like eyelets. Now in terms of the design, you will see the stitching on the upper. That is actually inspired by Japan, the land of the rising sun. So the stitching is meant to represent the rays of a sun. The shape of the 12 is actually inspired by high heels. This kind of steep downward angle with the higher ankle cut there. And then moving down the tongue, you have the Jumpman at the very top with the 2, 3, 2 in characters and 3 in just the number running down. And this shoe does not come with any extra laces, just black laces out of the box. Would have appreciated if they came with red laces too, just to give us an extra option. This is obviously a very black and red shoe. Those are the only 2 colors that are primarily used, but you only get black laces, so no real choice there. And moving around to the booty of the shoe, you will see a very nice black on black, subtle branded pull tab with Jordan actually debossed into the tag there. That looks really good. So it's not like stitched or anything, it is debossed. And then the phrase, quality inspired by the greatest player ever. Yeah, I really like what they did here. And then right at the bottom, extending up from the outsole, is the 23 in red. And in terms of the cushioning, the Jordan 12 does come with a Phylon midsole with a full-length Zoom Air unit. This is actually the first time that Jordan brand started using Zoom Air instead of Nike Air. So the beginning of an era. And in terms of the outsole, majority herringbone outsole. And you'll see that carbon fiber shank poking through. Carbon fiber, very lightweight material, also very durable and strong. So it provides torsional rigidity, so your shoe doesn't bend or twist too easily. Also helps with kinetic energy return. Now, one thing about the outsole of the Jordan 12s that I never really loved is how that Jumpman extends onto the tip of the toe. I don't like how it extends too far up, but that's just a personal opinion on my part. And in terms of the insole, it's just a Dream Cell insole with that Bloodline colorway. And in terms of sizing and comfort, I am a wide open flat footer for 12s. No real good solution because as a flat footer, This arch area, the way it digs way into your foot, that really hurts. You can go up half size, I have tried it before, but then the toe just becomes a little long. The way the shoe creases when you go up half a size, when there's too much wiggle room, it just looks really ugly, and then it becomes a little bit of heel slippage. There's just no good solution for a flat footer like myself. Overall comfort wise, if I ignore that, it's decently comfortable shoe. The carbon fiber is kind of stiff. You might have to adjust if you're not used to wearing shoes with carbon fiber plates, but for a shoe that came out all the way back then, it is not actually the brickest and like boxiest type of feeling on foot. So decent comfort, I think, for people that don't have flat feet. For people like me, 12s aren't going to be your saving grace in terms of comfort. And that brings the total sole score of the Jordan 12 Bloodline to 28.5 out of 40. Pretty average score compared to other general releases. Now first, it is colorway. I do really like all black sneakers, but for 12s, a silhouette that I'm not like a huge fan of, it has to come very special for me to call it delicious. So even though this black and red is nice, if I'm going with a black and red Jordan 12, I'm just gonna go with the flu games. There's more historical significance there. Michael Jordan wore it on foot. That's always going to make a difference. So I wouldn't say this colorway is too special, but it is still nice. And in terms of the materials, I think the leather is soft, but it feels kind of thin. Just doesn't feel like the most premium type of leather that they could have come with. But if you like feeling that texture, you'll get plenty of it here. So yeah, I would have preferred something a little bit more special. And in terms of the comfort, for non-flat and wide footers, the 12s may be pretty comfortable. If you have flat feet, I'm sorry to say, this is not going to be a comfortable shoe for you. This digs all the way right up. If it wasn't for that one area, I think it would be a pretty comfortable shoe, but there is that one flaw. And in terms of the versatility, I think the 12s are a pretty wearable silhouette actually. Kind of has a sophisticated and a more elevated vibe to it. An all black colorway, not as wearable as an all white shoe, but still very versatile. Only parts that kind of stand out are the red hints, and that is kind of reflective, so a little bit more brighter than if it was just like a muted red, but still, just looking at it, this is a very versatile shoe. Kind of goes with anything. Like I mentioned, if I'm going for a black and red Jordan 12, I'm just gonna go with the flu games, even though the color blocking is quite different. But if I'm just working with those two primary colors, I want the ones Michael Jordan wore on feet. However, with that said, if you like these, I actually agree with you. I think they're a nice colorway, but with limited resources, with limited funds, if I had to choose, I'm gonna spend my money probably on the flu games over these. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Sole Inclined. Let me know what you think of the Air Jordan 12 Bloodline. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.